These are Byron 4th grade students, and they're going to demonstrate today some volleyball skills. And the first ones we're going to work on are just the stance. And they're going to bend down till it's almost like they're sitting in a chair. Now, some people like to have 1 foot forward. Some people like to be square. Square means your feet are exactly even. Personally, myself, I usually have 1 foot forward. And when the ball comes, they're going to simultaneously, they're going to take their legs, and they're going to straighten out their legs, and they're going to push the back of their elbows through to the front. And they're not going to swing their arms. And notice their hands are just, their fingers are not locked. Their hands, palms are just, show me your palms, girls, how your fingers, they just have the hands inside. Some people will lock their fingers sometimes or put a fist inside the hand, but this is the way we're learning right now. Now, so they're going to get their ball. The first skill we're going to work on is the bump. And all they're going to do is they're going to toss it to themselves, and then they're going to let it bounce, and then do it again. They're not going to. All right, then the next portion will be they're going to toss it up in the air, and then they're going to hit it. We try to hit it straight. We want to be able to control the direction of the ball. All right, and the next part, they're going to toss it up in the air again, and they're going to let it bounce, and they're going to keep letting it bounce and hit it again. Keep letting it bounce and hit. Get that knee bend in there. And sometimes it gets away from them. That's all right. They just follow it. And get back to starting position. So the next part, they're just going to try to keep bumping it in the air. So they're going to toss it to themselves, get in a good position, and they see how many times in a row that they can hit it. And stop. Now, the next thing we're going to do, we're going to work on setting. Now, when we start out with setting, they have to get a deep, set your ball down, girls. They have to show me that they can get a real deep knee bend, deeper. And when they actually set the ball, they'll form a triangle with their fingers, and they'll look right through it. They have to scoot themselves underneath the ball, and they'll look right through it. And then they wait for the ball to come down to them. They don't hyperextend up to get it. They wait for the ball to come down to them, and then they push it all the way up using their legs and their arms. All right, so now pick up your ball, girls. We're now going to just throw. You're just going to throw it up. You're not going to toss it, but you're going to just push the ball up like you're setting it, and then just catch it. It should come straight down to you. And then get down that deep knee bend again. Don't toss it right now. Just hold it in your hands and push it up. And let it catch it. Hold it right in those finger pads. All right, now this time, you're going to do the same thing, except you're just going to let it bounce. All right, go. Okay. All right, now you're going to throw it up. You're going to actually toss it to yourself. And so it'll be coming down to you, and then you're going to set it up and let it bounce again. I want you to toss it to yourself, and then set it, and then let it bounce. And then just let it bounce, and we won't focus on continuation right now. Just get that first good hit. Toss it up to yourself. Repeat the set. Toss it up and set it. Toss it up and set it. Good. Now they're going to just try to see if they can keep setting. How many times in a row they can set it. Try to get that bend in the legs. Let it come down to you. That's all right. You're doing a good job. All right. Now we're going to combine the two sets of moves. And we're going to set it, let it hit the ground, and then we're going to bump it. All right? And just let it hit the ground. If they lose control, just start over and do the same thing. It's a little bit backward of what you might see in the game, because in the game we would say bump, set, spike, but we're trying to work other skills. So bump and set back and forth. Now the last part would be, can they do it without using the floor? Can they bump and set? Just either one. Bump, set, just get a pattern. Bumping and setting, whichever one works for you. Use both of them. Can you get a set in there too? Bump and set. All right, now we're going to walk over to this wall over here, and they're going to practice doing their bumping and setting off the wall. So they find a nice space. And just get closer to the wall. Get right up close to the wall. And let's see how that works for you. And somebody gets you away once in a while, that happens. This seems to be a little bit harder for them, but just let it bounce. You can start it over. And they can take out a spot on the wall that would be about as high as the net, and or maybe even like this blue mat, and just hit it over the top of the blue mat so it's at least that high each time they do it. So those are some skills that they're working on in 4th grade.